Ever feel like you're just one email away from a total meltdown?
Or, one traffic jam, one lost set of keys.
Don't even get me started on lost keys.
Yeah.
But seriously, we're diving into a topic today that I think everyone can relate to: staying calm under pressure. We've got 5 practical techniques, and we're not just telling you what to do, we're going deep on the why, so you can actually use these strategies to not just survive, but thrive in those high-pressure moments.
And what we're really talking about here is resilience, building that inner strength to handle whatever life throws your way.
Absolutely. And you know, it's funny, because when we think about staying calm, we often think about our mindset, right? Like, don't panic, don't freak out. But what's fascinating about these techniques is that they actually tap into your body's physiological response to stress.
It's true. We can actually change how our bodies react to pressure. So instead of that fight or flight mode taking over,
You know, heart racing, palms sweating.
exactly, we can shift into a state of calm and collected.
I love that. Okay, so let's start with a classic, deep breathing. I think we've all heard this a million times, but why does it actually work? Why does something so simple have such a profound effect?
Well, it all comes down to this little thing called the vagus nerve. You might not realize it, but it's like the communication superhighway between your brain and your body.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this vagus nerve.
So when you're stressed, your sympathetic nervous system kicks in. That's what triggers that fight or flight response. But when you take slow, deep breaths, you're actually stimulating the opposite nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for rest and relaxation.
So it's like hitting the brakes on your stress response.
Precisely. It's like sending a signal down the vagus nerve saying, everything is cool, stand down. And the best part is, deep breathing doesn't just slow your heart rate and lower your blood pressure, it also calms your mind by reducing those racing thoughts and worries.
It's amazing how it affects both the body and the mind.
It really is. And the more you practice deep breathing, the more you're training your body to respond to stress in this healthy way.
Okay, so next time I feel that panic rising, I'm taking some deep breaths. What about staying present? I struggle with this one. Sometimes mindfulness makes me feel more stressed, like I'm supposed to be zen all the time.
I totally get that. It's easy to get caught up in the shoulds of mindfulness, but really it's about awareness. It's about noticing when your mind is either racing ahead to what might happen
Oh, I'm so guilty of that.
or dwelling on what already happened. And those thoughts, they can be real energy thieves, stealing your focus and amplifying your stress.
Like paying interest on a debt you haven't even incurred yet.
Exactly. Staying present helps you step out of that cycle. It's about gently guiding your attention back to this moment where you have the most control.
I like that. It's like a mental reset button.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is a tactic that I think anyone who's ever felt overwhelmed by a to-do list can relate to: breaking down tasks. Is there science behind why this works?
Absolutely. Our brains are hardwired to crave progress. Every time we complete a task, even a small one, our brains release dopamine, which makes us feel good and motivates us to keep going. So instead of, say, trying to tackle writing an entire report in one go,
Which can feel completely paralyzing.
right, you break it down into smaller steps. Like, okay, first, I'll just create a new document and write the headings.
Suddenly it feels doable.
Exactly. You get a little dopamine hit, and that motivates you to keep going.
I can see how this could be helpful for procrastination too. It's so much easier to start when the first step feels manageable. Okay, this next technique is really interesting: reframing pressure. How can we actually change our perspective to see pressure as a positive thing?
It sounds counterintuitive, but it's incredibly powerful. Think about it this way. When you're under pressure, your body releases adrenaline and cortisol. Now, we often think of these hormones as being bad.
Stress hormones.
Right, but they're not inherently bad. They actually give you energy and focus. It's the same physiological response you might feel before a big game or a presentation.
So it's not necessarily about getting rid of those feelings. It's about how we interpret them.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that pressure is often a sign of being on the verge of something great. It means you're stretching yourself, you're growing.
I love that shift in perspective. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about the power of preparation. We can't always predict when those high-pressure moments are going to pop up, but is there anything we can do to feel more prepared for them?
Absolutely. Think of it like this. Imagine you're an athlete about to compete in a big game. You've trained for months, you know your plays, you've visualized yourself succeeding. When the pressure's on, you can tap into that preparation and perform at your best.
Because you've built that foundation.
Exactly. The same principle applies to other areas of life. Let's say you have a big presentation coming up. Instead of letting your nerves get the best of you, you could practice your presentation beforehand, think about potential questions, visualize yourself delivering it with confidence.
It's like creating a mental roadmap for yourself.
Precisely. The more you rehearse, even mentally, the more you build confidence and reduce uncertainty. So when the pressure hits, you know exactly what to do.
That is so powerful. So there you have it,
Yep.
5 techniques for not just surviving pressure, but actually using it to your advantage. Deep breathing, staying present, breaking down tasks, reframing pressure, and preparation. I love how practical these are.
And the most important thing to remember is that building resilience takes time. It's like learning any new skill. Be kind to yourself along the way, celebrate your progress, and remember, you have the power to navigate pressure with grace and resilience. Now, I'm curious, what resonated with you the most today? Which of these techniques are you going to try out in your own life? Let us know.
We'd love to hear from you.